I'm Jean Kuhn, and welcome to another Milk Crate Business Moments. My guest today is Hayden Baca, and I met Hayden probably about a month ago at a networking event. You guys, are you networking? Because you're meeting the greatest people when you network, right? So let me just share a little bit about Hayden here today. And so Hayden started UnSavvy Strategy 3 years ago to try and assist seniors who were struggling with technology and not receiving the help they deserved. She knew that she had the knowledge to help them, but had zero background in business. She was willing to jump in and figure everything out and try to make a difference in her community. You guys, I've never met anybody with a bigger heart than Hayden Baca. Hayden, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction as well. I'm doing good.
Well, first of all, thank you for volunteering to come on to, well, not volunteering, I guess I volunteered you to come on to Milk Crate Moments. As we were talking and you were telling me your story, I'm like, that's a Milk Crate moment, right? That's a Milk Crate moment. So I am just going to step aside here and let you tell us about your Milk Crate moment, and then I may follow up with some questions. So start whenever you're ready, Hayden.
Sorry that cut out, but my name is Hayden Baca, and I did start UnSavvy Strategy 3 years ago. Uh, oh, it's giving me connection issues, but let me know if you can still hear
Yeah,
me.
I can still hear you. It's a little spotty, but you're fine so far. Keep going.
Yeah, I apologize. It's going in and out, but so UnSavvy Strategy, tech advocate for seniors. How it started off was I just went around at the senior living communities in my area, started teach classes for free, trying to help all of them with anything that I could, as well as classes, and then it just transitioned into going into clients' homes and helping with everything there as well.
Awesome. Now, you said your milk crate moment was titled, I hated my life, but I believed in me. Let's talk about that for a moment.
So what kind of started everything is my life was in a place where I wasn't happy with it. I was just going to work and coming home. It wasn't fulfilling at all. So I decided, to believe in myself enough to just go after it and figure it all out, regardless of what anybody said I was capable of doing or not, which when you start a business, there's not a lot of people that believe in you always. So I was just willing to continue and work through that, even with no support but myself.
Well, okay, so I'm going to ask you to dig a little deeper, right? So why were you hating your life?
So I, at the time, here, let me say it like this. So I've been a drug addict for many, many years. And so it was kind of like that's what I was allowed to be. And I didn't like that. I felt that I was capable of being more than just this drug addict. So I just kind of decided to change my mind about who I was. And that's what gave me the confidence to then start doing a business of my own and having the self-esteem to do it.
Okay, so I think that all of us, right, have seen enough TV shows to know that a drug addict just doesn't wake up one day and say, "Ah, I think I'm going to just change my life." So tell us what that was like, because that really is a milk crate moment, right? To that could not have been easy for you.
No, but living the way that I was living wasn't easy either. The main thing that would get in my way was just that people always worry about failing. And when you're an addict, you're constantly worried about failing because you do it all the time. That's really where my strength came from, was my willingness to fail over and over and over again until I figured it out, which is actually a wonderful thing that all addicts have the ability of doing. Is we've all failed. That's all that you need to build yourself up, the ability to do that over and over again and keep going. So it was, the motivation to be something different than I was a very strong pull that just slowly kind of started. But also just working in, corporate America for so long, just not being fulfilled in what I did played a large part as well.
Yeah, well, let me just say that what you just said, that failing over and over and over, right? Every addict has done that. Every business owner has done that, right? There's a saying like if you haven't failed, right? If you haven't failed at something today, you're not working hard enough, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
exactly. So were you working in a corporate job the whole time that you were addicted?
So no. So a lot of it, you don't really have a steady job most of the time when you're in an addiction. But I worked for several different corporate companies over the years. And then right before I decided to start my business, of course, I was sober, but I was working at an insurance office, just not happy.
Okay, so I really want to hear about the moment you really decided that I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do that, right? That is a milk crate moment.
Yes. So being a single mom, and then not having money constantly and not being able to pay all my bills, living in a small one bedroom apartment with my daughter, it was just it was I was able to see that my life, and I could feel capable of something much more. And so I just became satisfied with that being what I was supposed to be. I had a boss that did not feel treated me fairly at all when I was trying to my all for somebody else. It wasn't working, and so I just needed to put in my all for me, and that's really all that I did. That's all anybody really needs in my experience.
Right. And I would imagine your daughter had, how old was your daughter at this time? Hayden, can you hear me? Hayden, can you hear me? Oh, she's kind of frozen. Oh, Hayden, can you hear me? Hayden, can you hear me? Oh man, why does this happen?
I,
Oh, Hayden, can you hear me? Shoot. This this was going very well. Hayden, can you hear me?
yes,
Okay, go ahead. I had asked how old were
you hear me? It
how old
shows I have a good signal, so I don't know.
I can, yeah, you're kind of freezing up here, but what I had asked was how old was your daughter at this time when you decided to make this change?
So
OMG.
she was
How old was your
she was
daughter?
2.
Okay. So and then how old is she now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Hayden, go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, to fix it as we're talking, but it's showing that my connection's okay. So odd, but my was 2.5 when
Okay.
I decided to do all this.
And how old is she now?
She just turned 6.
Oh, well, first of all, congratulations because that is truly a milk crate. So I'll continue on here without Hayden. That's exactly what small business owners go through, right? That we have to fail over and over and over again until we have the success that we're looking for. Okay, Hayden, are you back?
Yes.
Okay. So what I just started to say is, thank you for sharing that with us because that really truly is a milk crate moment, and it really does relate to business too. While business owners, like some of us are just addicted to our businesses, right? That we are like workaholics, we're working 24/7 and we have to fail over and over and over until Not that we get to make that decision, right? We make the decision that we're going to be an entrepreneur, and then those who are true entrepreneurs don't quit, regardless of what happens, right? We will take that failure over and over and over until we have the success that we're looking for. So I really appreciate you sharing that milk crate moment with me today. And now I kind of want to transition over to the senior piece. And I know you kind of opened up with a little bit of that, but why seniors? Why is your heart so full, so big for seniors?
So, and thank you for saying that, and I completely agree. So with the seniors, the way that that started was working for corporate companies. I worked for major corporate companies in the technology industry, and I saw a big issue with the way that seniors were treated. In call centers and things like that. They were just not being taken care of correctly, to the point that I had to do something about it because it was too much.
Awesome. And why you? Why then? And why free?
I I couldn't live with myself with some of the calls that I took. It got to the point where there were so many of them that somebody needed to do something. And I was the absolute only one that was willing to do it. I tried to look up anybody else that was doing what I was going to do, and there just wasn't anybody. So I just decided I would be that person, regardless of what background I had or experience in that area.
Well, I know that you said that you have a vision that this business becomes a bigger piece than right, that you'd like to see this being not worldwide, but at least all across the United States, right?
Correct.
So, so tell me the services that you provide for the seniors. Like, what do you do for them? And let me first, my most important question is, are you charging for this yet?
So yes, I did not start
Yeah.
out charging, of course, but yes, I do. What I do for them, there's a broad range, but for the most part, what it is I help with iPhones a lot. Anything that they need help with email. The key piece is I also help with internet. So making sure that they're not paying too much for their internet, or making sure they know what speed they're getting. I also try to help them decrease any bills that I feel are just unnecessary. So
Mhm.
it's really about saving money, as well as any type of technology that they need assistance with. I help.
Awesome. I love that. So, what's the biggest? All right. So, what's the number one complaint that seniors have for that they call you for?
Ooh, there's a strong tie. Email is a really difficult thing, and then internet. Internet is a huge thing.
Like their router goes out or
Yes.
something like that, where you need to help them, right? Or they need the router key, or right, to find something.
I I try to take all of the frustration out of it for them. So I spend a lot of time calling internet service providers or their phone company, because it's too much for them to have to deal with all of that. It's a struggle even for me. So I just try to do that for them. So it's not, something that's difficult.
Well, I think that's an honorable service that you're providing. But you got to get paid, right? You can't. This is
Right.
not a nonprofit. I know that this is not a nonprofit that you started.
No.
Okay, good, good. So how can if people wanna know more about, UnSavvy Strategy and how maybe they have a senior listen, my mom did not want she wanted help, but she never would take the advice that my husband's pretty tech savvy, and, she never would listen, right? So how do you deal with the senior who calls you, they ask you for help, and then they know how to fix it before you start talking to them?
You'd be very surprised. I don't have that issue. If it's a family members don't usually want to listen to another family member. But when
Right.
I come along, they don't have a problem with it. So I have yet to come across that. Knock on wood.
Oh, well, that's good. All right. How can people get in touch with you if they would like to talk to you about Unsavvy, or maybe they've got a senior that they literally want to pull their hair out helping, and they would rather pay somebody to help them? How can they get in
So
touch with
you
you?
can go to my website. It's haydenbaca.com. I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn. And so any of those, as well as my phone number is listed on there as well. I'll always answer the phone if somebody needs help. You can also email me. All of the information is listed on my website.
All right, so Hayden, it's right there underneath my picture. I don't know how we get it underneath your picture, but it's right there underneath that, haydenbaca.com. Hayden, thanks so much for being here today and sharing, number one, the awesomeness that you are as is helping seniors and getting them what they need in a kind and not yelling at them and swearing at them manner, right? I'm sure that they appreciate you and love having you there. I just want to say thank you for that. And thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you
So
for having me.
before we leave, I'm going to do a quick commercial for the turnaround conference, right? If you don't have a plan for your business, how are you going to stay in business? Do you know how to get more leads? Do you know how to get more clients? Do you know what your leads need to hear in order for them to have a conversation with you about what you do and how you can help them? We're going to be talking about lead generation, strategy, sales, and marketing at the Turnaround Conference coming up October 19th to the 21st in in the Chicagoland area. And you can find out everything you need to know about the Turnaround Conference at turnaroundconference.com. I'd love to have you there, Hayden. I'd love for you to be there. Um, and we will thank you for being here today. And I'm going to say goodbye until another day. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.